Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make a placemat, and on this placemat you can have different fabric on one side and another fabric on the other side, so you can make it a double theme. For instance, if it's fall, you can have autumn fabric on one side, Christmas fabric on the other, or for spring, Valentine fabric and Easter fabric. So let's get started. In this demonstration, I'm going to use 4 pieces of fabric on the front, and they're opposite. So you want 2 the same and opposite to the same. I'm going to use 1 large piece on the back and then heavy iron-on interfacing. And this is how you want to cut your fabric. For the front, I'm using 2 different fabrics. Cut each of them 7.5 inches by 9.5 inches, and you'll need 2 of each color. For the back, using 1 large piece of fabric, 14.5 inches by 18.5 inches. Heavy iron-on interfacing that's going to go in between the front and the back fabric. Cut it 14.5 by 18.5. I usually use the Pellon brand because it's easy for me to get, but use whatever heavy iron-on interfacing you can find. Place the A and B fabric front sides together. You're going to stitch 1/4 inch seam on just one end. At your ironing board, have the darkest fabric up and press both seams. Then unfold the fabric out like this. Press the seams on top, and you're pressing the seams, pressing them towards the darkest fabric. You're putting both sides of the fabric together, but you're putting your A and B fabric, so you're swapping them around and making sure they're opposite. Then match up your seams and put a pin there to hold that seam. So the seam on top is going in the opposite direction than the seam on the bottom. Stitch 1/4 inch all the way across, press the seam, unfold, and press it on top, and press the seam all in one direction. On the fabric for the back of the placemat, place your iron-on interfacing. You're going to put the glue side against the back of this fabric. Then follow the package instructions for fusing it on. It will require a hot iron with steam and a damp cloth. It's very easy to put this on, so read your instructions because they might all vary from one brand to another. And then I usually just do a little basting stitch around all 4 edges just to hold it all together. If you want to add any kind of embellishment, I used 2 rows of red rickrack. It's about 2 inches in from this edge, and they're a 1/2 inch apart. So you could just do 2 or more. All you need to do is stitch down the center of the rickrack. Bring front sides together and place pins around all of the edges. Leave an opening on one side large enough for your hand to go through, because this is where you're going to turn it front side out. So on each side of the opening, make sure you back stitch so that it doesn't come apart as you're stitching. Stitch 1/4 inch seams, so start here. Stitch down to the corner. When you get a 1/4 inch away, leave your needle down through your fabric, lift your presser foot, and turn your fabric. Continue stitching a 1/4 inch all the way around, and always at all corners, leave your needle down through the fabric as you turn. That way you won't lose your place. At all corners, you want to trim some of the excess fabric off. Trim it to where it's about 1/8 of an inch wide. So I first cut straight across like that. Then I cut a little bit off on each side and then a little bit off on this side. So do that at all 4 corners. Reach in between the front and back fabrics and go to one corner and grab it and bring it towards your opening. And begin to slowly turn the placemat front side out. After turning it front side out, reach inside the opening and make sure you poke the corners out. So you want to go to all 4 corners and poke them out. Then I recommend you give it a good pressing, flatten these edges. While you're pressing, I like to fold and press my edges in at the opening 1/4 of an inch. Then pin this opening closed and pin it all the way across. Then I like to stitch the opening closed, just top stitch, but I also like to stitch all the way around all 4 sides. So starting in one corner, stitching close to the edge, go all the way down, go across your opening, down to the other corner, and continue stitching around all 4 sides. One last area that I suggest you stitch on, and it's for keeping the front and back sections from shifting apart, is stitch right in this seam here, right on top of it. It's called stitch in the ditch. So stitch down through here and then through here. So here it is on one side, and then here it is on the other side. Well, I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you do try to make a placemat. I want to give you a few sewing tips. There's one really important step you should not skip out on, and that is pressing. So it doesn't matter if you're making a formal dress, a pair of little sleep shorts, a big quilt, or just a little pot holder. Never skip that step. Press your seams according to instructions. Your seams will line up better. Any markings you've made on your fabric will also line up better, and your project will look a lot more professional. And one more little tip. I always get a lot of questions about needles and threads. Unfortunately, all thread manufacturers have their own needle requirements. There is no standard throughout the industry. So if you're not sure what needle you should use with your fabric, go to the manufacturer's website and see what they require. If you're still in doubt, use a 90-14 needle. And one more thing, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. You'll get behind the scene photos of future projects that I'm working on. The links are below your YouTube screen. For other placemat projects, play this video until a green screen appears and then click on the links. If you like this video, please click on thumbs up, and don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Click on the bell and enter your email address so you receive email notifications about my latest video. If you're not receiving those email notifications, go to your cell phone or iPad, click on settings, and turn notifications on. This is Scotty, this is Maria, this is Jamie, and this is Manny. Bye-bye, see you later.